what people eat in nature and what people say they eat in nature is two different things. So yeah, and they only do it seasonally and occasionally. So, yes, Paul. Yeah, Paul's gone down the Ray Peat crackpot ideas. Unfortunately, even I found out recently, Mary, Denise Minger, she's gone down the same pathway as well. She does lean meat with fruits and stuff like that. It's the Ray Peat sort of model, basically. Unfortunately, a lot of them are going down that pathway. Sugar and lean meats, ridiculous, but that's what they're doing. They fear all PUFA, including from animal foods. Zero PUFA. Essential fatty acids now have become completely demonized in the. No wonder they are actually going. They're losing their marbles without enough essential fatty acids. Completely lost the plot. Old Ray Peat. That's why he basically doesn't even make appearances, because he can't coherently hold a conversation. That's how bad he is. So it's just ridiculous in that regard. Oh, can't find it now. But there's one about the Ray Peat pyramid, which is ridiculous. If you look at it, it's basically, yeah. Anyway, that's for another day. But yes, he's gone down the crackpot pathway like a lot of these other crackpots. Reductionism. This is what happens with reductionism, and unfortunately, she's gone down a similar pathway. See, she looked at the low. She actually did a video years ago on the low fat. So if you go low fat, you can lose weight and stuff like that. The stuff that I did on the nutritional guidelines, how they came about, which I did with Pim, my first video. If you go to my playlist with Pim, I actually talk about Walter Kempner and that research and all that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, she's looked at similar research and came to a wrong conclusion, because she's ignored the N15 data. She's ignored the ancestral data. That's just not engaging the Randall cycle. But she doesn't understand that. She doesn't understand the Randall cycle. And so she's gone down to the conclusion that you can go either way. You can have your cake and eat it sort of thing. So you can have your sugar with your meat to get your nutrient density. And that's where she's mucked up completely. So, and that's where a lot of them have mucked up. Again, demonizing fat. If it's not fat, they're demonizing animal protein. So you've got animal protein in the keto community. It's been demonized because of mTOR, and then you've got an IGF-1, and then you've got basically, again, because I don't understand the hormonal systems, how they work, the insulin to glucagon ratio, and how that is regulated by the body and the genes. So they got no idea of that, about that in the low carb community. In that regard, so they demonize animal protein, and then on the other side, it's the Ray Peat who demonize animal fats, and in particular, animal PUFA, again for the same ridiculous reasons. Even let's put it this way. Let's say somebody for the first time was coming to this information. They weren't a carnivore. They weren't anything. You just said to them, you said, this person claims that all animal PUFA is dangerous. And here we've got a population like the Okinawans, that their prime source of food comes from pork, and fatty pork, and they use lard. And lard is much higher in animal PUFA. Okay? And these people live longer. Who would you believe between the two? Now, obviously, they eat up to 80%, so they don't engage the Randall cycle. There's a lot of things. But even if they don't engage the Randall cycle, they still live longer than the other Japanese. And the Japanese in general live longer than the Americans and other Europeans. So, and they have a high taurine diet as well, which is coming from the fish. People don't tell you that either. And a high TMAO coming from the fish. Yes, apparently, somebody got the message wrong on that. And so, and here you've got crackpots saying that PUFA, TMAO, all these sort of things that are very high in the foods that these people eat and are living longer than the other people, who am I going to believe? Somebody who has a crackpot reductionist notion, or somebody who basically is eating certain foods and doesn't seem to cause that problem? It's ridiculous, you know? So this is the problem with a lot of these people. They actually are they can't think out of reductionism in these very simplistic ways. Maybe they just don't have the IQ for it. I don't know. But, maybe all of us are much smarter than these people. Or maybe we engage our minds. We're not brainwashed to think that reductionism is the answer. We're able to engage our minds slightly. Unfortunately, these people can't. Yes, what can one say?